beautiful souls. I am Valeria Maritza and healing through you. I am an infinite being of light, and so are you. Oh my goodness, guys. Today it is such an important message that's coming through because it is the message that talks about you holding yourself back. And there are so many ways that we do this to ourselves. It's called self sabotage or fear. And it is that fear of doing something new because we don't know what's on the other side of doing something new, right? And this is what keeps us small, and it keeps us playing in the matrix, playing the same old thing of what we have been told is and works, because we already know it, no matter how uncomfortable we feel. So how do we hold ourselves back? I'm going to give you some examples because this happens to me all the time. You guys know I have a free Facebook group where I give lots of information and teachings there. And I see this a lot when people are not ready to take action on themselves, on doing the work. They will come up, and this is me included, guys, with any excuse possible. I will give you my first example here. I was talking with someone, and it came through for them to do a meditation for 5 minutes a day. And so I said, just to make it easy so that you don't feel like you're going to go past your time, just set a timer on your phone that, for 5 minutes, and you just sit there and you meditate, you relax, and you do whatever you have to do. And when that buzzer goes off, then you stop. And then you know that, you can go on around your day and do your things. And you haven't spent any more time than that because, in a busy world, when we think and believe that there is no time for meditation, this is one of the things that comes up, right? I don't have time to meditate. That's just not part of what I can do. Meanwhile, you can sit in front of your phone and scroll for like an hour, and you're not thinking that you're wasting that time, and you could have meditated, but that's another reason. Okay. So, or another story. So this is that's the message, right? Set a timer. And this is for anyone here who is wanting to do a meditation practice and hasn't been able to do it. Set a timer for 5 minutes and go on and just try that and see how that begins to change and shift your energy throughout the week. So 3 days later, I check in and I'm like, hey, how's it going? Were you able to start your 5-minute meditation? And this is the answer. Oh, I haven't, because my phone doesn't have that setting. It only has a setting of 10 minutes, but it doesn't have a 5-minute one. And so I wasn't able to do it. Okay, everyone who's listening to this knows this is a red flag of resistance to doing the work, because really, like, okay, then set a timer for 10 minutes and then, open your eyes somewhere in there and see if you're past the 5 and go on. Or just start doing it. It doesn't have to be a timer. You just try, look at the time, and then see what happens. Or find a meditation music online that is 5 minutes, and then, or around 5 minutes, and then do that, because when it ends, you know that 5 minutes are up, right? So there's so many other ways that you can figure this out. But we have been conditioned so deeply to follow the rules as they are taught to us that if you hear me or anyone else say, hey, set a timer for 5 minutes and sit and meditate, and I can't find a timer, I'm going to think, because of the conditioning, that if I find a timer for 3 minutes or 4 minutes or 7 minutes or 10 minutes, then I'm doing it wrong. And if I'm going to do it wrong, I might as well not do it at all, because that's not what she said or he said or it said. And that is a way for us to keep ourselves small and not move forward. We're sabotaging ourselves because it's not exactly what we heard. You are being called to tune into yourself and do things that feel good to you. If you hear something or see something and you're like, oh yeah, and you're completely in alignment, agreeing on everything, and you want to take action, and then you don't do it, you don't take action, and then you come up with any excuse for not doing it, whatever it is, doesn't have to be meditating, it could be anything else that you are interested in, then you're doing the self-sabotage. You're looking for excuses as to how do I get everything perfect or all my ducks in a row before I take my first step. You're being asked to tune into yourself and feel, is this right for me? Do I actually really want to do this? And if the answer is yes, and be true to yourself, because it could be like, in theory that sounds good, but I really don't feel like doing it, and just be truthful, and that's okay. There's no judging, there's no judgment here. It's you and yourself. There's no one else around. No one's telling you to do things, and if somebody is telling you to do something specifically and looking after without you asking, then that's also a sign for you to move away. Right? Because that's not the way it should be. And I'm using the word should very loosely here, because that word has a lot of judgments attached to it. It's a very low frequency word, and it's not a word that I use almost at all, because I know the frequency that it has attached to it. So if you are wanting to do something and you're asking for help, you're beginning to look, you're beginning to find podcasts or videos or books or people talking about the subjects that you're interested in, that you're beginning to open up to, and then you don't take action because you don't have all your all your ducks in a row, then notice and acknowledge that that is you putting a block in front of yourself. Notice it. I'm bringing this awareness up because once you're aware of it, you're going to think about it. You're like, oh, wait a second. This person said that this might happen, and now here I am doing it. And then once you recognize it, you are able to move through it much easier, because you're aware that, hey, this is going to happen, right? Or this might happen for you. So now you can look into it like, okay, I'm doing it, I'm not going to do it this time, because this time I really do want to get the results that I'm asking for. And then you're able to choose a different path, the path of action, the path of doing the thing that you wanted to do. Does that make sense? Okay. So what's the other one? There was another really good example that I had. Okay, I got it. Somebody posted, and this happens all the time on social media. Somebody posts, if you want to do X, then I did Y and Z, and I got these results. Would you like to know more? And then you're like, oh yeah, I want to do more. And then they're asking for something. It could be they want your email, or they want you to book something, or they want to sell you something. It could be any type of things that they're asking you to do, another step before you get the answer. But a lot of us feel like, oh, well, I do want to do that, but I don't want to go through the other steps. I don't feel that attachment to the person or the post or whatever, or the course or whatever it is. But I do want to know this, but I don't know how to do it, right? And so I'm just not going to do it. This is, again, self-sabotage, because you're getting the idea of, okay, this is something that you can do, and you're feeling excited to do it. That's a sign. If you're feeling excited, that means that it is for you. And then you stop yourself because you don't want to engage with the next step on the post or the person or whatever it is. And then you just don't do it. So, and this one, again, you are being called to look within, to feel within. Do you actually want this? Yes? Okay, well then do some research, do something else, right? It's kind of like, oh, here's this recipe to this wonderful orange cake. Wow, I would like that, but where are the ingredients? I don't know. Okay, play with it. And this is part of you tuning into your own intuition to see what feels good as you're being guided, and try it out. Because you know what? Even if it like completely flops on you, at least you took the steps towards it and you created something. And while you were in that state of creation, you were more connected to your divine part of yourself, to your higher self, to the light, to God, to whatever it is that you call it, because it's all the same. And in that time, you are receiving more messages because you are in a state of joy and receiving. Does that make sense? Let me know if this is making sense to you. Okay, another way that we self-sabotage is by really going into something. For example, I can buy a course or a class or whatever, and then we don't do the work. Like that is one of the biggest ways to self-sabotage, and it really makes no sense, especially to the bank, because you're paying money to get some type of service and then you are not doing the work. A lot of people, I have seen a lot of people do this with coaching. They hire a coach for their business. They have a business, they want to do a business thing, and they hire somebody and they start doing the work, and then they stop. They just kind of like go to the classes and they don't do anything. Now, let's think about this, okay? Because I actually did this myself many years back. And then I had the realization at the end of it, like, oh, wait a second, I was supposed to do something too. Ta-da! Right? Like, really? Imagine yourself going to college and you're going to a class and you sit at the class and you watch the professor speak and teach, blah, 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 right? And then you're done. And then you go back to your dorm or your home or whatever, and you don't do anything else. You don't read, you don't do homework, you don't do any of the projects, right? And then you go back the next day and or the next time there's a class and you watch the person, right? This is the same thing that I see a lot of people do with coaching, which is really kind of ridiculous. Not the people who are at the top, but the people who are starting and are not becoming successful through it. They go, they watch the lesson, they watch the coach speak, they get all of the insights, and then they do nothing or they do very little because the expectation, and this is the ego again, this is the self sabotage. The expectation is I pay for this, the person is the leader, they're going to take me through, but I have forgotten that I'm the one who has to do the work. I'm the one who has to take action. You guys are laughing. Some of you, you're here and you have to hire somebody for anything, and you're like, that cannot be. It is, okay? I have met people like this. It is true. And I'm including myself in this. You actually have to do all the things that you are learning to do in order to have the success that the person or the course is promising you. You can't just sit there and be like, yeah, good, right, and then maybe do some writing and do some reading, but then not putting those things into action. You have to do all of it. You have to do all the things that you're being taught that is available for you in order to have the results that you're wanting. And not only that, because I also have seen people do all the things that they're taught to do, but they're not doing the inner work. And the inner work is the part when you are following your intuition, doing your meditation so you can connect better with your higher self, with the divine part of yourself, so you can receive those messages with more ease and clarity and take action at the best possible times for you. So sometimes people do all the things, but they have a lot of heavy energy within their own bodies or energetic bodies that are holding them back. And it could be a fear of being seen, or it could be a fear of being heard, right? And a lot of these things happen because, again, the conditioning that we have had, for example, especially if you're female and you grew up in a place where females were not as important as the male, or they're just, supposed to look pretty and be the homemaker, but not have a business or not study or not be smart. I actually know some people from high school that their parents thought and believed that about their daughters, but not their sons. Like, what year am I living in, right? So, like, this actually has happened. If you are one of these beings that grew up with that conditioning, then even though you may have taken all the power and the learnings to create your business, to do the things that you want to do, to put yourself out there and hire a coach, a business coach, and figure out how to do a business, and then you're speaking, if you haven't done the inner work of releasing this part of I'm not good enough, I'm just a woman, and just a woman in quotes, in quotes here, right? Like, or I'm not important enough, or I don't know enough, or I don't have enough hours, or I don't have enough certifications in order to be that good, in order for me to be successful. If you have any of those things in running in your subconscious, then you're not going to make it easy on your business either. It's not going to be as successful as it could be, or as you want it to be, or as it has been promised, because you are working with this heavy one within you in your subconscious that says you're not good enough. And so when you're out there speaking to your audience and saying, hey, I have this fantastic thing and come work with me and these are my results and blah, 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 your energy is being held back consciously and saying, I don't know if you can do this. I don't know if you're strong enough. I don't know if you can actually make it. I don't know if anybody wants to work with you. And that is running in the back of your head. That's the inner work. That's what you need to do to get rid of that part. Not get rid of it, but like bring it to the light. So it's like, oh, yeah, I did grow up like that. Yeah, I did have that thing. Do I have those feelings when I'm speaking? No, I feel pretty confident. Do you? If you're not seeing the results after doing all the things, then that might be the part that is missing. So getting all of your tools together, everything, right? You don't self-sabotage by looking to the other side when something feels like, hey, that's too weird, or that's not something I need. And allow yourself, if it comes into your awareness, if it comes into a post, if somebody mentions it to you and you've dismissed it, you might have dismissed the same message like 10, 20 times. And now maybe you're listening to it this time and it's landing like, oh, right? And then once you get that oh, or that light bulb goes in your head, then you're ready to take action. Right? And so I have received so many messages on different things. This is way before I was doing the work, the meditation, the inner work, where I was receiving the messages of like, that's not the right path, that's not the right person, that's not the right thing to do, and getting more and more. And I would just turn a blind eye because, my ego is so strong. It's like, nope, I want that, I want that, I want that, I want that. It doesn't matter how many messages you're going to send me that this is the wrong path. I'm going to go down that path. And guess what? Proof that the path was the wrong path for me. Actually, there's really no wrong or right, but it was the most difficult path for me, where I had the most hurt for me, and it was the most difficult place for me to get to where I wanted to go. Yet I chose that path because I wanted to do it my way and not listen to all of the messages. It's fine. My soul grew. I wouldn't be here if I hadn't gone and chosen that path. But there is another way. And now I know that we can choose to learn and grow our soul the hard way, or the difficult way, or the ways that really hurt. Or we can choose to take the easy path, the one that's in alignment with us, the one that goes fast, with ease, with joy and love. And I didn't know this before. I just thought like, hey, I'm just going my way. And I've been taught, choose your thing, work hard, get there, right? We've all been taught these things. That was the only way. But after you do your inner work, you get to realize that all of that goes out the window, that there's so many other possibilities. And I could not possibly know what possibilities are available to me because I'm still living in this human body with a human brain that is limited. So when we do the inner work, we connect, we meditate, we allow ourselves to receive and to be led by the light, then you get infinite possibilities of things that you can do and how they can work for you. And all you have to do is notice them and follow them. Woohoo! With that, I'm going to go. Let me know how this is landing for you. Did it make sense? Did you like it? Did you not like it? And again, with everything, anything and everything that you hear and listen to, you take what resonates, you leave what doesn't, all the time. There is no one way that fits all. It's all about you and what it feels like inside of your heart. So pick and choose wisely and leave whatever does not feel good or light for you. If there's anyone that you know that will really benefit from hearing these messages and these teachings, please share the podcast with at least one person that has not heard it yet. Ask them to subscribe, ask them to like it, leave a review for you too if you haven't yet. And that will really help this podcast to like grow and the messages to go farther and further. I also, this podcast is being upload it onto YouTube, so you can also find it there. And I ask you the same things, to please subscribe and send it to other people, share it to other people so that more people can find it. If you are looking for support, send me a message anywhere that you can find it, and I can let you know which ways will be the best fit for you, for whatever it is that you are looking for. Okay, sending you so much love and light, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.